All right, everyone. So we did videos on TKO wanting to change some of the pay-per-view names from the Vince era, right? Or at least that's what the reporting was alleging. We have a little bit of an update now, so we want to bring this to you so you get the full context. So this is from Wrestling Inc. Major WWE events safe despite Mark Shapiro's comments. WWE plans to hold on to its marquee PLEs, dispelling fears that they may be replaced in the future, with some inferred from a recent comment by TKO COO Mark Shapiro. Shapiro recently stated that TKO intends to move past PLEs created by former WWE Chairman Vince McMahon, explaining that the newest WWE PLE, WrestlePalooza, is the start of that trend. However, Fightful Select has reported that a source in WWE has informed them that Shapiro may have been referring to monthly PLEs rather than the bigger PLEs they have. The same source also clarified that Saudi Arabia has only paid to get WrestleMania to its country and not WrestlePalooza. WrestlePalooza was the first PLE to air on ESPN as part of the deal between WWE and the sports broadcasting giant to broadcast PLE domestically. The report also added that two cities, New Orleans and Indianapolis, have deals with the WWE to host more SummerSlams and WrestleManias in the future than what has been announced. New Orleans was originally supposed to host next year's WrestleMania, but it was moved back to Las Vegas for the second year running. Indianapolis had also signed a deal in 2024 to host three of the big four PLEs: WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble in the city. Okay. So here's the thing, right? This is kind of what we thought at the time was probably they're talking about ones that aren't as big, right? Because that's not going to be as big of an issue. There were plenty even during Vince's times of, you look at different pay-per-views that came and then left and came and left. They would so I don't think anybody has a real problem with that. But as we pointed out, right now WWE is going through major changes because TKO is running this differently than when Vince McMahon was in charge. We see it with ticket prices, we see it with the ads all over the map, right? There are a lot of different things going on that would have basically not been the case if Vince was still there. With that, things like this also, even WrestlePalooza in itself, I don't want to be a downer on WrestlePalooza, but to me, the WrestlePalooza was no different than the Netflix debut in the sense of it was a hyped event that just had as much star power on the show as possible, but didn't live up to any of the hype that was there. It wasn't a bad show, right? It was fun. It was interesting. I enjoyed my time watching, but it was kind of told that it was going to be like, okay, WrestleMania is 1A and WrestlePalooza is like right around there. I don't want to say it's 1B necessarily because obviously WrestleMania was always the big one, but it was booked and promoted like that. And so that was kind of my issue with it, right? And if we continue to get these events, just okay, we had another event instead of, whatever it is, right? It just worries me that we get a lot of that and less of what makes WWE so amazing. There's something to be said, right, about not that we want small pay-per-views, but there's something to be said about the WWE universe being a universe in and of itself. And not everything has to be, you know, constantly kind of making you feel like, oh yeah, there's celebrities, there's this and there's that. And I get WWE has always had celebrities. It's always been a big part of it. I'm not against having celebrities and making it global and doing all of this. But there's just something about right now. It feels like everything is about the grand. Everything is about the grandiose, right? The big, the big, the big, the big, instead of actually telling the stories that we want to see. Like is there, besides Cena's farewell tour right now, obviously, but is there that storyline that has you hooked like things during the Attitude Era, where there you were just waiting to see what happened next with Austin and McMahon, or just any of that kind of stuff. I just feel like right now all of WWE's focus is on growing, getting bigger, making more money, finding more ways to monetize it, which as a business is all good, right? I'm fine with it. I get it, right? Book it all that way. Fine. But just focus on building. Like even I still can't get over the return of Brock Lesnar. And that moment when we saw the return, the excitement level I had was through the roof, knowing, oh my God, Brock's returning. It's going to be him and Cena. Such a cool match. And then to see how it played out, to see the build to that point, just wasn't it. Just wasn't it. And I'm scared if you're kind of pricing out families, right, with ticket prices, if that ends up being what happens. If you're having these WrestlePalooza like events where there isn't really all that much of a story build to it, it's more of just how many big names can we throw on it. You're not getting that WWE universe that we know and we love, right? That's what we want. Right now, for some reason, as I'm doing this video, all I could think about is the Attitude Era and just how it was like, obviously back at that time, right? WWE was in a much different financial situation, so there certainly was the jumbotron and stuff like that, but it was such a smaller product. But there was such a universe that was built within WWE, right? There was storylines and this and every, and there was just something so I don't even know how to say it. It's just different, right? And now when you think about the product, you go, I mean, there kind of is, but is there still that kind of is everything now just kind of too big in a sense, right? Are they focusing too much on the big and not enough on the individual storylines and kind of the actual wrestling storytelling purpose of it? Is it all about the big payoff and not about the actual everyday type stuff? And I hope that's not the case. And I do think that having this update is huge, right? Because what it's basically saying and what it's clarifying, and this is what we said in our prior video of this is probably what it's going to be, is we're going to try to add some new events in, right? No problem with that. I was just going to be a little bit, aggravated if we found out actually Royal Rumble, we're changing it, right? Which probably wasn't going to happen. But at the end of the day, that's what we got. So put in the comment section below what you think, because I don't want to be, negative on any of this stuff, right? WWE and I think Triple H has done a phenomenal job. I really do. I think if you look at his time, especially over the last 2 years, the job he walked into, what he's done, I think there's been a lot of good stories. And let's just be honest, those WrestleManias that he's put together have been top notch, right? I mean, the Undertaker moment. I mean, there have been those big moments, right, that we will remember. I mean, the Seth Rollins thing that we just saw where, I mean, obviously now it's all that storyline's kind of on the side burner, but Seth Rollins, that fake injury like there have been some awesome moments, right? I think we're doing a great job, Triple H's, with hitting home runs on a lot of this stuff. It's about, can we hit those singles, right? Are we going to consistently hit those singles on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and some of these other PLEs that happen? But put in the comment section below what you think. You think I'm wrong? You agree with me on this? Is this something that, you're actually looking forward to? Put in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.